Hello, it's Dr. Minniear-Corrons here today with our Wednesday Wellness Talk. Today's talk is going to be our first talk on diet and nutrition. This is typically a hot topic for patients when they come to the doctor's office, but usually in the form of the question, what can I do to lose weight? Keep in mind that this is a very broad topic, so today is going to be a very focused talk on caloric balance. And so it's going to be very specific. This topic you can spend hours giving lectures on this topic. So we're going to focus on caloric balance today. It's likely that the majority of you listening have tried a fad diet at least at one point in your life. And probably you've gone through that cycle where you've lost a bunch of weight, but quickly put it back on as soon as as soon as you stop the diet. And probably you put the weight back on much faster than the time it took to get the weight off in the first place. And this is because you aren't maintaining that diet to keep the weight off. So that's why we've kind of changed the topic from being like dieting to being more of a lifestyle change, because you have to be able to do whatever it is you're doing to keep the weight, to lose the weight. You've got to be able to do that for the rest of your life to maintain the weight loss. So caloric balance is important for maintaining a healthy weight. And this balance is achieved between the amount of calories that you're consuming in your diet and balanced with the amount of calories that you're burning in the form of energy. And this burning of energy comes from two categories. It's basic bodily functions to help keep you alive. So your heart beating, your GI system digesting food, your muscles contracting when you walk, your brain uses energy. So there are things that we're consuming a certain amount of energy just to survive. But there's also your activity level, which can increase the amount of calories you're burning. So when you're exercising, your muscles are contracting, and hopefully you're getting your heart rate up when you're exercising so that you're also consuming more energy in that area as well. So if you're consuming more calories in your diet than you're burning in a day, this leads to overnutrition, which is associated with weight gain and obesity, which then increases your risk for diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, and other health problems. That's just to name a few. For people who are normal weight and we're just trying to maintain that weight, the amount of calories consumed should equal the amount of energy burned in a day. For those who are overweight, you want to consume fewer calories than you're burning, because you want to start getting into those stored fats to use for energy instead. So for weight loss, you want to consume fewer calories or increase your activity level to burn more calories. And typically the combination of the two is ideal. You want to consume less and burn more. So the amount of calories that you need per day is based on your age, your sex, your weight, your height, and your activity level. There are apps and tools online that you can put in this information, and it will tell you kind of what your caloric and average caloric intake, or the amount of calories you can consume in a day. I would encourage you to be very honest when completing the information. If you're not a very active person, don't put that you're active, because people who are active get more calories because they burn more calories in a day. So be very honest about that. How many of you look at nutrition labels before you eat the food that you're about to eat? I have a sample nutrition label today for those who don't know how to read a nutrition label. This is a fictitious nutrition label, but this is the same formatting that they use. So for this particular product, the amount of calories is 190 calories, and that's for 1 cup. So it's important to look at the serving size. That's for 1 cup of this product. So if you were to eat 2 cups of this product, it would be 380 calories. And what I have found is many times we underestimate the amount, the portion that we're eating. So for example, if this was cereal and in 1 cup has 190 calories, then we would pour a bowl full of cereal and then we would assume that's probably a cup. But in reality, if you measure that out, it's probably more than a cup. So it's important when you are doing calorie counting that you are being very intentional with measuring what you're eating so that you know for sure that you are having 1 cup and it's 190 calories. I have a few examples of products to go over the nutrition label with you really quickly. This is a granola bar, Nature Valley, and if you look here, it's 170 calories, and the serving size on this is for 1 bar right here. Here's a can of Diet Coke, a 7.5 ounce Diet Coke, and the nutrition label here shows 0 calories, and the serving size is for 1 can. I have this jar of yogurt, and the nutrition information for it is 160 calories for 1 jar is the serving size. So if you only had half the jar, you would put half of 160. The last example is this coffee creamer by International Delight. And if you look at the nutrition label here, it's 35 calories for 1 tablespoon, the serving size. So going back to portions, if you were to just take this and pour it into your coffee cup, and I think it would be very difficult for you to actually estimate how much coffee creamer you just poured in there. So I would encourage you to be very intentional and measure this out with a tablespoon and figure out how much coffee creamer you're actually consuming so you can really get an idea of how much calories you're consuming with that alone. So there are apps that can help you keep track of your calories that you're consuming. Many of them have an awesome feature where you can just scan the barcode right here and it'll pull up the nutrition label for it, and it will help automatically populate that for you. Many of them you'll have to adjust the portion size. So if you only half a jar, then you would calculate that you only had 80 calories technically. So that's a really great feature. For those who aren't phone apps are not your thing, pen and paper is just fine because all the information that you need is actually on the label. So just start counting, writing down the amount of calories you're consuming in a day, and it will probably give you really good perspective on how much you're actually consuming compared to what you should be consuming in a day. Keep in mind too that increasing your activity level burns more calories. So if you're wanting to get more into that, you're burning more than you're eating, then increase your activity level, and that will help with that. And doing both together should accelerate the weight loss. So next week we'll start talking about the My Plate method when it comes for more nutritional based information. So if you want to hear more about that, please tune in next week. Thank you. Have a good day.